Thank you, Mr. Lin, for joining us today. And I wanted to introduce Mr. Lin. Mr. Ted Lin is international marketing head for Binance, and it has been really great platform, and the growth of the platform has been going really well. So he's here with us for some interviews, and we'll be asking some questions to him. So Alshil, please, you want to say some words?
Sure. Actually, my complete title is Head of International Markets. The reason between the differentiation between international marketing and international markets is the focus we place on engagement. So we're not just doing marketing per se, but really want interaction with the market in general.
So I'll start with my first question. While you were addressing the audience on main stage of International Blockchain Congress 2018, you come to mention about community management and people. Please shed some light on how Binance can improve the level of the management and the people coming to the crypto world.
Sure. We don't try to manage them, but we do try to encourage participation. So, as I always say, the essence of the international markets team is about user engagement. So when we think of India, a population that's close to 1.3 billion, it is by no means a very small part of the world. In fact, it's so big that within India, I believe there's quite a few different states or cities we have to take into account. So all these 28 different states, they probably have different preferences, different tastes, different style choices. And one of the best things we do is, ever since the beginning of Binance, we have the so-called Angel program. And the Angel program is a volunteer program for the crypto enthusiasts and people who actually recognize Binance values. They join us as volunteers, they become angels, and they can help us speak with and listen to the communities. I think that's one part we will continue strengthening, and we want to recruit angels in the India market. And furthermore, we will also start to recruit local marketing team. So this local market team will start to have the ability to communicate and listen and learn from the local markets. I believe that will help us tremendously in our ability to engage with the market.
Of course. Easy. So what are your efforts Binance as organization is putting forward, work with different communities around the world? Like the thing is happening as you have planned 1.3 billion population India has, and according to the stock trading data what we have around 300 to 350 million people trading in stocks in India, right? And how it's the Indian effort which we are doing right now. So what about the other global communities?
I think we have been quite strong in the English speaking community. I think US is one of the good markets for us because they are a very knowledgeable, very forefront of the blockchain revolution. And when they pick up a particular topic, it kind of trickles down into the rest of the world. It trickles into the rest of the world, I should say. Aside from the English-speaking ones, we also have quite a few different communities. We have Russian community, we have Italian, we have Portuguese, we have the Latin American community. Together we have more than 30 different language groups on Telegram. Not to mention we also have the Facebook pages for the different language and country groups. So I think all those specific local or lingual specific groups are helpful for the community to come together and discuss what their preferences are. We have community moderators, angels, or own people in those groups to listen, to learn. So that is actually one of the great ways for us to reach out.
So I'll move to the next question, which is across the world, governments are not really supporting association of banking infrastructure with crypto exchanges, especially in India, and it is becoming difficult for common man to trade in fiat and crypto. Please comment on the future of this scenario.
I think regulators around the world are always very protective of their people. And I think that's a good thing because it is one of their fiduciary duty to watch out for their people they serve. The regulation itself is actually very hard to define when you want to be both protective as well as open for innovation. So all governments are taking turn to make sure they optimize it for both. And it's highly respected. So I think sooner or later, as the individual jurisdictions have a more refined and defined regulation, it will actually be the good of the industry to continue growing.
So I'll move to the next one. Like Binance invested 15 million in Bermuda in April, right? And are you guys planning something similar in India, given that the government of India is starting to become more respective about the crypto and blockchain concepts in evident today in this event?
We're very happy to converse with head of states and governments around the world, because we have a very positive and clear view of what blockchain technology can help the humankind. So if there's a chance to interact with the people in the government to discuss how we can contribute, that will also be a welcomed opportunity. Overall, I think India is going through a very transformative period. Just at the right at the beginning of the blockchain revolution. It's probably the first time since a few centuries the financial system is going to be having a disruptive evolution. I think it's for the better. The key word is disruptive. If we have in such a way that it's gradual, it's not so disruptive, it'll be more welcomed by everybody, the government, the private sector, and all the users around the world. So how to make that as subtle and gradual and effective as possible would be key to the conversation going forward.
To move to the last one, you're building an ecosystem around the success of Binance, and we at BTC Wires believe that it is really way forward, especially with the ideas of Binance Academy, Binance Lab, and Binance Launchpad. So what I'm trying to understand from you is how you are positioned now in the market to leverage all the brandings which you have been creating.
I think every new pillar or every new part or business we create is based on amplifying and bringing symbiotic relationship and impact to the core, which is the Binance exchange. And what we want to do ultimately is to proliferate the freedom of money, so people can eventually choose what is the best way for them, the preferred way to retain value from the value they've created in society. What is their preferred way to receive funding for their great idea or project? And these are all pertaining to the so-called freedom of money in our view. And in order for that to happen, I think we have a very big responsibility to accelerate and propagate the use of blockchain technology. So you see all these pillars from Binance Labs incubator to Binance Launchpad, the initial token platform, initial token sale platform, to the Binance Info, which is the crypto codex about different projects, to the latest Binance Academy, which is an education platform, as well as the charity foundation, the Binance Blockchain Charity Foundation have started. All those relate to propagating and proliferating blockchain technology, so eventually we can achieve the freedom of money for the people around the world. So I would say whichever one we start next and how we propagate the brand name has to coincide and resonate with our vision. So if people have different ideas in what we can embark on that resonates with our core vision, we're welcoming any suggestions.
I just gone through the Launchpad, or not Launchpad, the labs, right? The Binance labs. So you are only focusing right now on the technology sector when it comes to only blockchain, creating wallet, D-apps, and that is right. So the labs is currently concentrating on the technology rather than different applications of blockchain.
At the core, Binance believes blockchain can fundamentally better the lives of human beings, and crypto is one way to proliferate that freedom of money. So therefore, Binance Labs is naturally focusing on proliferating the use of blockchain. So eventually they may have a broader theme, but currently, as far as I know, the Labs team is focusing on the blockchain technology.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lin, for your time today, and it was really a pleasure talking to you. And hopefully we see you again and Binance team again in other different events around the world. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.